Hey guys, what is it? Today's Thursday. I'm so excited to be here with you guys to live stream and talk with you guys about all of what y'all been asking me for. So my team did a poll and they asked you guys what y'all want to hear. Do y'all want tax tips? Do y'all want tax? I don't know what the whole poll was. So apparently you guys want me to teach you some more tax tips. So that was one of the things that you guys requested. And then y'all wanted to talk about like some tax dramas, tax problems and things like that. So on today's show, guys, we're going to talk about tax tips, and we got some tax drama because based on this recent tax court case, the IRS has officially started to utilize social media in their normal court cases. So I'm excited to talk with you guys. So if you are if you want to learn something, make sure you grab your pen, grab your paper, and if you know somebody that want to know about new tax tips, well, not necessarily new tax tips, some of my tax tricks. If you know somebody want to know some of my tax tricks, then you want to share this video with them. Yeah, and let's get ready to rock it out. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna just dive right on into the tax tips. Okay, so first things first, guys, y'all know that I'm a very huge advocate for you guys doing your bookkeeping, right? If you own a business. And if you don't own a business, I'm also a big advocate of you tracking your personal household expenses as well, because if you have been watching me for a while, you're pretty familiar that the tax code allow you to write off some of your personal items as expenses or deductions on your tax return, such as if you give to charity, you're able to take itemized deductions if it's higher than the standard deduction, and so forth and so forth. So what I'm realizing is that you guys want to know all of the tax tips, but you're forgetting about the first one. And before I give you guys any juice, okay, any juice for my stuff to be ripped off again on social media, let me first emphasize that every business owner should be doing their bookkeeping. There is no bigger tax strategy, guys, than you doing your bookkeeping. That's the biggest one. But the second strategy that a lot of you probably miss out is really the opportunity to not take the standard deduction or the itemized deduction. So there's really no way for you not to take either, okay? And you don't want to not take either. There's no way, right? But the tax system allows you to pick either itemized deductions or standard deductions. If you've been watching me for a while, or if you've recently taken the course that I've taught with the Urban League, then you know what that is, right? All right. For all my business people, if you are taking the business use of home deduction, which is you owning a home, right? And you or renting a home, and you function a business within your home as its primary office. So the moment that you operate your business legitimately out of your home, you guys are able to take your business use of home. But what I'm finding, and I'm seeing this on a lot of new clients' returns, their preparer did them a complete disservice. What their preparer did not take the business use of home deduction, so they put everything for that person's home, such as the mortgage entrance and the property taxes, as an itemized deduction, and they left a lot of profit on the business return, on the Schedule C. So number one thing, guys, make sure if you are operating your business out of your home, you take the business use of home. The second layer to this is that even if you don't itemize, even if you don't have, even if you don't want to deduct every expense, such as your utilities, your mortgage entrance, your property taxes and things like that, you're able to take the simplified business use of home deduction. And so I'm seeing three things happen. You guys are not taking the business use of home deduction. Number one, you're not taking the simplified one if the opportunity is there for you to take it. But the third thing that I'm finding is that they are not putting the business use of home. So it's hard to really explain. So let's say you guys own your business, right? And you function out of your home. you're able to now deduct under business use of home the mortgage entrance, the property taxes, and things like that. But for me personally, what I always do is evaluate which option best suits my client. Does it benefit my client to put the mortgage entrance, the full amount of the mortgage entrance on the business use of home, and then have the remaining balance carry over to the itemized deductions? Or if they have the opportunity to take the full business use of deductions, take the full amount and don't itemize. Because if you itemize, you can't double dip. You cannot double dip. And so some of you are probably actually messing up on your tax returns because they're taking the business use of home and they're itemizing, or they're not giving you the opportunity to take the standard deduction and take the full deduction on your business return. So guys, basically, and that sounds like a lot. I don't even think my team is going to be able to break that out. But basically, you guys need to evaluate what best suits your situation when it comes to the business use of home deduction, the itemized deductions, and the standard deduction. Between me and you, they have a distinct correlation between one another. And if you guys don't properly look at it, you're going to end up losing out on a portion of your deduction or on the expense that could reduce your business income. So that's one thing that you guys want to definitely look at. Okay? So another tax strategy that I'm going to talk about today before we go into the mess with the IRS, okay, is that many of you are trying to save taxes in high state tax areas. So if you live in New York, New Jersey, who else? California. A lot of you guys complain all the time. Folasade, I pay so many taxes. The first strategy a lot of you can do is just move. Move from California. Move from New York, Move from Maryland. Move from New Jersey. Move from Pennsylvania or whatever. Move from those high state taxes and move to a state like Florida, Alaska, Texas, and do that. And if you know you pay a high amount of taxes in those states, like some of my clients, California taxes be like $15,000 and $20,000. Some of them $5,000 or $10,000. If you guys have the opportunity to work remotely, okay, for that company, California laws, I hate California because if that company is located in California, they cannot even put you on 1099. And if you did live in another state, you still have to pay California taxes. So California, I hate. But if you were to move, right, and get another job that's similar and pay the same, then you guys will also have the opportunity to go away with the high state taxes, okay? So those are just two brief tax strategies. So I did create some other content, some videos with you guys, for you guys to go over some more tax strategies because you guys are asking. But my concern is that what extreme will you guys go to implement these tax strategies? What extreme are you guys going to do the right thing? I don't mind keep giving you guys tax tips. But if you guys are going to mess things up like I've been seeing, and like I've been seeing people take all the content that I put out and teach you guys incorrectly, and you guys are screwing up, it does a disservice for me. So that's why I do not like giving you guys tax tips if you're not a client of mine, because I hate the fact that you guys go out and burn every tax tip or end up doing it wrong. Okay, so implement this by talking with whoever's going to file your taxes. Okay, so let's go right into the IRS. I keep telling you guys not to toot my own horn, because it's God's work here. But I always tell you guys, pay attention to the little quick things and conversations that I have with you guys. Because if you all can recall, I said, was it about maybe 9 months ago? Maybe a year ago I said this. I said the IRS is going to start using social media to set y'all up, right? And that's exactly what's happening right now. Come to find out, guys, this recent tax court case, and I'm going to share my screen for you guys that's on YouTube and Facebook. I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. Do I have the PDF? I think I downloaded it. Hold on, y'all. So on YouTube, you guys are going to be able to see my screen. So head over to our YouTube channel, which is Folasade TV. Oh gosh, don't tell me. Hold on, y'all. Technical difficulties, you guys. I'm trying to find the file so I can share it on YouTube while I am talking about the case. Give me 1 second. Okay, so guys, what I'm about to do is show you this recent tax court case. And so why do I always talk about recent tax court cases and what's happening? Because everything that happens in tax court impacts your tax return. So just because the IRS did not update their regulations, or just because the IRS did not inform you of that recent tax court case that impacts how you file your return or what type of deductions and things like that, if you guys were to try to take the IRS to court, they would use that to beat you in court. Alrighty, so this tax court case is Thomas versus the IRS. Thomas versus the IRS. And if you guys want to see my screen, head over to our YouTube page, which is Folasade TV. Oh no. Hold on, guys. Let me see how I can take it out a little bit. That's small. Hold on, y'all. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, guys. So I have the tax court case up on the screen for you guys on our YouTube channel. All right. So this is tax court case Thomas versus the IRS. So just to give you guys some context about the tax court case, this individual was posting on social media and had a blog and everything else, and come to find out she was married and her spouse ended up passing away. And so when her spouse ended up passing away, they ended up having a large amount of tax debt that they owed to the IRS. Okay, so what she did was try to file innocent spouse release, which is section 6015 of United States Tax Court. Yeah, of the United States Tax Code. Yeah, okay. Section 6015, which says basically, you have a right to try to get innocent spouse relief if you qualify. So this person ended up trying to do innocent spouse relief, and the IRS rejected their claim. And with the innocent spouse relief, guys, if you are fighting the IRS, it automatically goes to tax court, right? There's no intermediary. So in this particular case, the taxpayer said, yep, I don't owe this money. My husband did. Let me try to end up getting this money wiped away. So she went to tax court. The IRS presented the facts to the case, and I'm going to read it off a little bit just so you guys can have some context. And then if you guys want to see it on my screen, don't forget to head over to my YouTube channel, which is Folasade TV. And if you join us, please like the video and subscribe as well. Okay. All right. Hold on. Where is it? Okay. I want to pull it up for them on YouTube. All right, what page is that too? All right, y'all. So now they're going back and forth with the IRS, and they're in tax court. So I'm going to just read a brief, and then we're going to talk about it, okay? It says the taxpayer then obtained counsel and filed a motion to strike the... Oh, this is going into the details. Oh, goodness. I did not want that. All right, I'm going to just have to tell y'all off the top of my head because I'm going right into it right away. Okay, so the taxpayer said, oh, no, IRS. So she going to fight them. So the IRS brought in evidence that basically came from the taxpayer's blog post and social media. The IRS, to be able to win their case and say that, yes, your husband died. Yes, you owe this amount of money, The IRS is trying to stick it to her and say, you are responsible for the amount that your husband owe and you owe when you filed your taxes, okay? So she was like, So she went to court. So I'm going to read it off, you guys, so we can be on the same page. She said her husband died in 2016. After his death, the taxpayer had asked the IRS for relief from the unpaid taxes, okay? Because both the taxpayer and the IRS wanted the court to consider testimony and other evidence that was not part of the original administrative record, right? The tax court tried the case on April 4th, 2022. And remember, guys, I told y'all last year there was so many tax court cases that will become precedents that was happening last year that impact all of us. But y'all don't want to listen to me. Y'all just want tax tips and stuff. Okay. So at the trial, the IRS proposed to introduce into evidence a series of posts from the taxpayer's personal online blog. The first post is dated November 2nd, 2016, and the final post is dated January 5th, 2022. The contents of the post are relevant because they reflect information about the taxpayer's assets, lifestyle, and business. So, how many times did I ask you guys to stop posting everything about your assets, your lifestyle, and your businesses online? Use social media, use the internet as grounds to just make your coins, but you don't have to tell us how much you're making. You don't have to tell us you and your husband went to Antigua. You don't have to tell us that you guys just bought a mansion. You guys don't have to tell us that. And see, now with this tax court case, and some of you guys are like, Folasade, they only found their blog. The moment that they found that blog is the moment that they are allowed to also look at your social media profiles as well. So you remember back in the day when this case originally happened, right? Blogs was more prevalent, like we were reading more blogs and stuff. You don't think, and remember guys, I taught you this, in criminal courts, in criminal IRS cases, they use the metadata. They use the metadata. So everything that you guys do online is stored by metadata, if I'm not mistaken, right? And the IRS can download that metadata, okay, which is stored on Google server, Facebook server, you know, all of these social media sites server to use in court now. This just shows that social media data is used in court by the IRS, and the IRS actually won the case. So they're using your information to self-incriminate you, and they're using your information to win their tax court cases. So it's not just criminally that you guys got to worry about. You guys have to worry about now the IRS posting stuff, you get pulling the metadata to find out whether or not you have assets and income and things that you guys are not disclosing. All right, so where were we? Oh, so the contents of the post, okay, yeah, we read that, was the contents of the post. They reflect information about the taxpayer's assets, assets, lifestyle, and business, as well as her relationship with her deceased husband. The taxpayer discussed via the blog. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know my eyes. I need to wear my glasses. If I'm going to read, y'all, I'm going to try to have my glasses next time because I'm over here struggling. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Okay. The taxpayer discussed the blog during her direct testimony. And although the IRS did not directly question the taxpayers about specific blog posts, during cross-examination, some of the IRS cross-examination questions relied on matters addressed in the blog's post. Guys, give me 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Here I come. 1 second. Let me take a quick break, guys. Let me just do a quick little break. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Quick little break. All right, y'all, I'm back. Okay, somebody was at my door. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so let me go back to reading the IRS case. Okay, so it said the taxpayer discussed the blog during her direct testimony, and although the IRS did not directly question the taxpayers about specific blog posts during cross-examination, some of the IRS questions relied on matters addressed in the blog post. So remember, guys, everything with the IRS is directly, see, I gotta get used to this. Remember, guys, everything connected with the IRS has a direct correlation to your income, your assets, your lifestyle, your spending, and all of that stuff. So if you are posting that type of information in any form or fashion, and they're able to subpoena that department or division to request the information, or if they're able to access it without obtaining a subpoena, they're going to bring it in court. And now we're seeing that they're bringing in blog posts. So if they're bringing in blog posts, what's next? It's your social media, because remember, the blog post is stored online, which is metadata, and in the IRS criminal division's manual, it says that they can use that data. So nothing is free from being used against you guys in the court of law or in tax court. So while you guys out here thinking you stunting, you buying these G-Wagons and doing all of this and saying these posts, oh, I don't pay taxes, or I got this business just to write off taxes, or I got this business just to get credit cards, y'all are incriminating yourselves. And remember, just because you delete it from your feed, it is not deleted from their servers. And I don't like to have these conversations to put fear in you guys, but the reality is that y'all have to just stop. Like, stop trying to use the tax code to make money. File your taxes. If you save on taxes, good. If you implement tax strategies, great. I'm happy for you. I don't want you to overpay taxes. But the last thing that I want for you guys is to have sleepless nights, the IRS garnishing your bank account, the IRS levying, putting liens on your assets, okay, and the IRS setting up a criminal investigation because you didn't cheated on the taxes for so many years that it's now criminal. And see, some of you guys don't understand that if you are accumulating fraudulent tax deductions and stuff, and we don't know how much of the deductions that you guys are doing illegally, that can lead you to your tax return going into the criminal division. Buying them G-Wagons and trying to do section 179 bonus depreciation, and you know you didn't operate that business for profit, is against the law. So right now, y'all are just skating on very much thin ice. The IRS is hiring. They're sending out random notices. I was just telling my team, we have about 5 people this week alone inquiring about amended returns. I was just telling Paula just right before this live stream, oh my gosh, Paula, all these people are messed up on their taxes from last year. So this is where we are, guys. We're in a situation now. Y'all just need to just do the right thing. Because now they're using social media definitively now. When I first said it, I knew what I was talking about. I knew what I was talking about, but you guys wasn't sure. Now I have evidence to show you guys that they're using it, okay? Okay, it says the taxpayer who represented herself during the trial, that was also the biggest mistake, guys. If you're trying to go up against the IRS, do not represent yourself. Stop trying to represent yourself in audits. Stop trying to represent yourself in tax court. Stop it. Hire a professional to help you guys do that. Stop it. It hurts. Because if you lose, yes, you lost the amount of tax, right, that you will have to pay. But these cases impact future tax policies. So now, because this person went up against the tax court and lost against the IRS, now the IRS it will be a consistent pattern for them to use social media to win tax court cases. But y'all don't want to hear it from me. I'm gonna give y'all what y'all want when y'all asses get caught up. Y'all gonna be trying to find my post, because that's what y'all do. Y'all funny. I've been teaching you guys trying to do things the right way for years, and when y'all asses get caught up, that's when you try to hire me and stuff. I like that you want to hire me to help you clean up your mess, but I don't want you to be a mess. Tommy says, I'm doing fingerprints for new IRS. Oh my gosh, Tommy, yes. Okay, Tommy's our fingerprinting guru, guys, on YouTube. Please hit over on YouTube and follow him. Tommy said he's doing fingerprinting for new IRS hires in his area. See? You see? Okay, so the tax court issued an order addressing the blog post evidence. The court concluded that it would advance the orderly resolution of this case to treat the blog post as admitted in full without prejudice to the parties' ability to file motions to have an exhibit stricken from the record. The court noted that given the novelty and the complexity of certain issues relating to the blog post, that the taxpayer's presentation on these issues may benefit from the assistance of counsel. She should have gotten an attorney. The taxpayer then obtained counsel. I just said it. It's so funny. And I did not read this before. I don't read. If I read it, you will see highlights. Didn't even get to read it. I just said, let me go live because I had a 12 o'clock, but my team had to reschedule my 12 o'clock. So I said, let me just go live while I can and ready. Okay, so the taxpayer then obtained counsel and filed a motion to strike the blog post from evidence. The IRS then filed an objection to the petitioner's motion to strike, and the case went back to the tax court to consider whether or not, see, now, you see, this is why you guys should not be representing yourselves in tax court. So you lost. Now you back. Now you trying to get the evidence stricken. So now there's a whole new tax court case directly relative to the evidence, which is the blog post. So this person just messed it up and opened up a can for everybody, you guys. And you guys may not see it until you hear more and more cases being lost due to that person's social media. The taxpayer then obtained counsel and filed a motion to strike the blog post from evidence. The IRS then filed an objection to the petitioner's motion to strike, and the case went back to the tax court to consider whether or not the blog post could be used against the taxpayer in seeking innocent spouse relief. The court noted that both the taxpayer and the IRS agreed that the taxpayer's blog posts are not part of the administrative record, which was not originally reviewed before it went to tax court, and that they are relevant to the disposition of the case. The case. The court stated it must determine whether it should strike the blog pursuant to Internal Revenue Code Section 6015-8E7, which requires that the tax court only consider the information from the administrative record and any additionally newly discovered information. So the taxpayer argued that the blog post should be struck from the evidence because they were publicly available and the IRS could have found them through an internet search of the taxpayer's name. Thus, they were not previously unavailable. The taxpayer also asked the court to conclude that the posts are also not newly discovered In her view, to admit newly discovered evidence, the parties seeking admission have exercised reasonable diligence. Let me just fast forward this a little bit. Well, no. Do I want to? The IRS argued no. Okay. Now I'm going to read it, you guys. The IRS argued that none of the evidence should be stricken. The taxpayers' blog posts were newly discovered by the IRS after the administrative proceedings. So after the administrative proceedings, that's when the IRS found additional evidence. The IRS argued that the term newly discovered should be defined in its ordinary meaning. The IRS did not become aware of the blog materials until after the taxpayer brought the case before the tax court, and thus are newly discovered evidence. The IRS pointed to several considerations that favor its reading of the statute. First, the IRS noted its rule in the administrative review process for resolving claims for relief under Internal Revenue Code 6015 is that of an arbitrator, not an advocate. Thus, the IRS does not have a duty to gather evidence in defeat or request for relief. Second, the IRS stated that because the taxpayer has the burden at the administrative stage to establish that relief is appropriate, if the IRS concludes that the taxpayer has failed to meet that burden, it will be a waste of resources for the IRS to gather additional evidence simply to refute inadequate claim. I'm going to just skip this one. The IRS pulled all of it. They pulled up this. Okay, no, I don't think I need to skip the statutory. Okay, I'm going to read this one part. The fourth is the statutory requirement that the court's decision be based on the administrative record established at the time of the determination represents an effort to ensure that requesting spouses exhaust their administrative remedies before going to tax court. Since no exhaustion requirement applies to the IRS should thus be permitted to look for additional evidence once the case is in court, rather than required to undertake such efforts. So the IRS is basically saying, we're not going to do all the extra. Let me stop. I keep forgetting to stop. The IRS said, The IRS said, we're not going to keep investing dollars into investigating this. However, once the taxpayer took it to tax court, it's all free for all. The IRS said now we have the opportunity to include additional evidence because we have to now back up our claim, which requires them to put in additional resources. So the IRS was like, okay, well, if she didn't take us to tax court, we wouldn't have found the additional evidence. We didn't want to exhaust all of our financial resources to search on social media. So guys, if you're just coming into our live stream, to my live stream right now, just to give you some context and some background, I first gave you guys some tax tips that you need to really talk with your tax professional before you implement. But I'm also talking to you about this recent tax court case where the IRS just won, where they are allowed to use your metadata, your social media posts, your blog posts as evidence in tax court cases. There was a recent court case that we're talking about today that she originally lost, okay, trying to get the taxes wiped off using innocent spouse relief. And when the IRS declined the innocent spouse relief, she took them to tax court. And so at that point, because now you're in tax court, the IRS brought in her online information, her social media, her blog posts, and everything in the case. So now, because of this recent tax court case win, the IRS is permitted to use online metadata, and I just want to say metadata in general because that includes social media, blog posts, and everything about you online. The IRS can now use against you in tax court. So that's what we're talking about. So if you guys want to see my screen, then you want to head over to my YouTube channel, which is Folasade TV, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Alrighty, so where was I? Okay, so since no exhaustion requirement applies to the IRS should thus be permitted to look for additional evidence once the case is in court, rather than being required to undertake such efforts earlier on pain of losing the right to do so. Moreover, since the evidence at issue here was within the requesting spouse control, that factor weighs in favor of the evidence being left in the record. Taxpayers should not be incentivized to hide information from the IRS during administrative phase. So they're basically trying to say that she had that information, y'all. The tax court noted the motion before them presents an issue of first impression concerning the meaning of Internal Revenue Code Section 6015. This code section does not define the phrase newly discovered evidence. Okay, the court stated it must therefore discern the ordinary meaning of that phrase. I'm going to skip that. Okay, so applied to this case, the phrase newly discovered evidence encompasses the blog post that the taxpayers seek to strike. The IRS discovered the post by searching the internet after the taxpayer filed the petition before the tax court. There is no evidence that the IRS obtained the blog post any sooner, and the taxpayer makes no argument to that effect. Therefore, the court concluded that the blog posts are admissible as newly discovered evidence. The purposes of reviewing the taxpayer's innocent spouse claim. So guys, all this, what you're doing on social media, thinking it's free for all, will not be used against you criminally and is taxly even a word? No. Taxationally? No. Okay. IRS is now allowed to use your online stuff to fight cases in tax court. And because they wanted, based on a newly discovered, what my mind is saying now, the IRS may intentionally not include information when you're having your administrative record with them, in hopes that you might take them to tax court so they can now use that information in tax court. So basically the IRS found a loophole to use your information on social media to incriminate you in tax court. And so with that being said, a lot of you need to stop randomly just telling everybody about your business. And I know some of you are influencers and your lifestyle is how you make your money, but you need to tread a bit lightly as well, especially if you're not doing things the right way, or you're attempting to later down the line try to settle on tax debt or anything. And any court case or any tax issue could be brought against, any tax issue that you guys have could go up to tax court. And you guys can be in the same boat as this person here. So everything is just open and wide open, guys. I've been warning you guys. I don't even know what else to say. Do you guys have any questions before I go? Do you guys have any questions at all before I go? What time is it? It's 12:15. So you guys have any questions before I get out of here? Any questions about taxes, tax laws, this recent tax case that's happening, anything? Okay, I don't know. I may not be able to use my phone for Instagram, but there's no other way to go live. Okay, guys, so I'm about to get ready to head on out. So the major lesson from today is that get your paperwork and stuff in order if you really want to take advantage of most tax strategies, right? Get your paperwork in order. But with the tax court case, the lesson today is stop self-incriminating yourselves online, y'all. You're posting too much. Like, this is why social media is booming the way that it's booming, because all of the information that you guys are putting on is what they use to monetize. So you know how I monetize Instagram with my tax services and things like that? Instagram monetized their platform throughout data, and you guys posting everything over the sun, under the water, about what you make, your lifestyle, that's going to come back and hunt a lot of you. MD Wood say, this is great information. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome, love. I appreciate you. So this recent tax court case just opened it up for everybody. Now, all of your social media posts can be used against you. Your blog posts, your YouTube videos, everything, your past Facebook posts, everything could be used against you just because of this tax court case. Because they ruled that it's considered, depending on how they present it, it's newly discovered evidence. So how much newly discovered evidence are you giving the IRS to run up a case against you? And then I know you guys have been seeing online, because I saw about maybe like 2 weeks ago, when they was like, oh, whistleblowers and informants get paid like $80,000 to $100,000 a year. And so now with people realizing that they can make money by incriminating people and everything else, y'all need to tread very lightly with putting everything about yourself on social media. It's not sweet. And you might, and see, this is where you guys being comfortable and in your own skin and not needing validation from people, because a lot of you guys are posting not to make money, y'all posting for validation. And when you're posting the validation, that means you're putting out everything. Oh yeah, I just got a bag today, and then you doing a video showing us the bag. How did you make that money to get that bag? Did you scam? So a lot of questions can start being open. And would this give the IRS free grounds to start pulling people's social media that is attempting to try to get any type of relief? Not just innocent spouse relief. What if every tax case that goes up in tax court, now they're bringing in social media? Because they're now saying, okay, well, you said you can't pay this money. Well, why were you posting on social media saying you made $15,000 this week? Why did you post on social media saying that you made $1 million? We didn't see you file a tax return for $1 million. But you posted on social media you made $1 million. See, that's what I'm saying. See, a lot of you guys need validation, so you're lying, you're not being honest, and you're going to end up messing yourself up. And so really, and see, this is the way y'all don't even understand. Just because of this tax court case now, oh God, this stuff pains me. Just because of this tax court case now, right? All of you guys post, not all of you, some of you post, oh, I made $50,000 this week. Oh, last year was my 7-figure year. Remember, it's on social media. The IRS just won the case that allowed them to bring that data in court, right? You don't think the IRS is going to go and screenshot you saying you made $1 million. And then when you file your tax return, they don't see that $1 million gross income. And then if you under audit, they might be able to use. See, I'm not even sure how far they're going to allow to use this information. But now what I'm thinking is this. Did some of you guys mess yourself up now, and you may have to now file a 7-figure tax return because your ass thing got audited and the IRS. Oh my God! Hold on, let me wait a minute, because the daddy is sending a download to me right now as it's coming. Oh my God! Oh my God! Some of you guys have actually messed yourself up. So let's say, for example, you file your tax return with your business and you ended up getting audited. And you're not happy with the audit results. So you said, no, I'm going to go ahead on and take this to tax court. Now, because of this tax court case, we got the newly discovered rule, right? Okay. The IRS now will commence to go to your social media, take screenshots of all of the claims that you made $1 million, all of the claims that you made 7 figures, all of the claims that you done made. They can use that in court. And then they can use that to say, Your Honor, this taxpayer said on social media that they made 7 figures. Your Honor, we have no way to determine if that's not true. So we believe, based on his own, prejudice, that we're going to go by what the taxpayer said that he made. So the taxpayer tax return is understated. I personally don't think that a judge would accept your bank statement deposits as proof to dispel that you didn't make that 7 figures. Oh gosh. So if you're making false income claims on social media, stop it. Go back and delete those posts. Stop it. Go back. Go back and delete those posts, please. Now, here's the issue. The post will never go off a Facebook server. That's the problem we have now. So here we go once again. Me been warning you guys for years. And I'm having my team, when they break this video out, I'm going to see if they can find it. It's been about maybe a good 4 years. I told y'all, stop stunting on Facebook. Stop stunting on Insta. Stop telling everybody everything. Stop telling everybody all your income. I asked you guys to stop this. And now, because of this recent tax court case, you already have false or real income claims that may not match the tax return that you've been filing. So if you were to get audited, take those claims to tax court. They can use that data of yours against you. And now you're stuck. Because the actual income was not what you put on social media. But you're now, more than likely, when I think about this, I personally don't think that a judge would say that they trust all the bank statements that you give them. That why, if you say you made 7 figures in 2022, then why don't they see 7 figures on you? I don't think the judge. No. I think they're going to use it as your own form of testimony. Guys, let's stop this. Let's stop this, guys. Stop all the boasting on social media. Time is expired. Because now it's used in the court of law for tax purposes and for criminal cases, guys. So I'm your girl, Folasade, the accountability accountant, guys. I hope that you enjoyed today's content. I know I was all over the place a little bit, trying to get back into the swing of things and live stream when I want to or when I can. But if you guys enjoyed, please go to my YouTube channel, like the video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Folasade TV. If you like the video as well, you see the link, share it with your friend. I think you can hit the share on Instagram. You can share it on Facebook as well. And be mindful, guys. I really do need y'all to share my content because I am shadow banned. I get shadow banned every 2 weeks. So now this week I'm shadow banned. So you probably see some of my posts get 1 like, 2 like, 3 likes. I'm shadow banned. And it happens every 2 weeks for me. So please like and share the content so other people can benefit from it as well, because you still have your friends posting everything about their lives and they're not influencers. If you are not an influencer, I do not recommend you post everything about your financial house and everything about your lifestyle, because based on this recent tax court case, the IRS used the taxpayer's blog post to establish grounds on her assets, her lifestyle, and her business, guys. And so what makes you any different? The IRS will use the same information against you if you were to go against them in tax court. The difference is she didn't know. However, you guys know because I'm telling you. And you guys knew prior to this tax court case because I pre-warned you. So now if this happens to you, you can't blame anybody but yourself because you've been pre-warned. She wasn't. Okay? So let's take this lesson. Stop all the stunting. Stop all the boastfulness. Stop all the unnecessary false income claims. Or let's just stop putting out exactly what you make. We don't have to see your Stripe deposits. We don't have to see that you made $50,000 last month. We don't have to see that. Keep that between you and your folks and your family. Okay, but social media don't need to see that, guys. And if you have to put out how much money you made all the time to make money, are you really selling or are you manipulating? So here's the thing, guys. We have to start now asking ourselves, in this landscape of influencer marketing where they gloat off your lifestyle and all the money and designer you got, are you really able to sell? Is your product really a beast if you got to keep promoting your lifestyle, or is your product gaining results? Is really the concern, because a lot of you guys are going to get yourselves messed up trying to be boastful to lure people into your program, and you're manipulating them. Okay, but then you're also putting metadata out there on the web for it to be used against you in both tax court and criminal court. Okay, all right, guys, I love you guys. I will see you when I see you. YouTube, I will come up with a schedule soon, but I just haven't figured out when or which day I want to do. And then I don't want to give you guys a set day and then I'm not consistent, you know what I mean? So that's the thing. So I don't know which day I'm going to do with my YouTube, but we'll figure it out. Okay, guys, I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next live stream. Where's, oh, I should need some better.